I'm Sanjay, and I'm excited to welcome you to season 2 of the Thrive Table. The Thrive Table is a segment of the Why to Thrive podcast where we have honest conversations around the mind, purpose, and leadership. Season 1 was very amazing, and we had industry experts sharing real insights on how we can master our mind, live on purpose, and lead diligently. And season 2 is here, bigger, better, and greater. Today, I have here with me Michael and Joshua, team members of Poimen, and we are just going to give you a glimpse into what season 2 looks like. So, our focus for season 2 is breaking down the concept around mastery. So, I'll start with Michael. What do you think mastery is?
Well, I think if you left life to chance, everybody would drift. You would just be floating through life and you'll be expecting that somehow you end up somewhere. But you and I know that if there's no plan, there's no intention, there's no purpose, life can be very frustrating because it's like you find yourself in a pool of water, there's nothing to hold on to, and the water is just moving you in whichever direction it feels like. That is life without mastery. But when you introduce mastery into the equation, then someone can determine that this is where life has put me, but I can decide that I'm going to paddle and move in this direction because I know that if I move in this direction, it will get me here. It will end me in this particular place, which will be rewarding for me. So that really is the concept of mastery in a very simple and relatable sense.
Okay, Joshua, how about you? What do you think about mastery?
Okay, so I believe mastery is quite important in all we do, right? Like Michael said, we can't just leave things to chance to just appear or to just happen, right? If you look at anything great or anything that has been done, it has been someone who decided to deliberately master the kind of things they are doing, right? And so that really is what Poimen seeks to do. We seek to help people really master themselves. And while they master themselves, they learn how to master the various things they are doing. And then that mastery will then create ripple effects in the society they find themselves into. That's why I believe mastery is quite important.
Okay, so Michael, how would you connect mastery as a concept to mind, purpose, and leadership?
Well, there's a verse in the Bible that says in Proverbs 4:23, it says, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flows the issues of life. So that's the mind. The mind is like your command center. And as we speak, there's a war going on. Countries are at war. There's so much happening. What I want you to think about is that there is a command center which you often see in movies. You see people sitting behind big screens and they are monitoring things and they are giving out information. And that information is what is informing where a missile is sent and where people are going to send troops to go and fight. Now, think about that and bring it into your life and recognize that you and I have a command center. It's called our mind. It is doing the same thing for our lives. So mastery means taking charge of your command center to ensure that the instructions and the decisions and the choices you are making, it is coming from a command center that is well informed. That's number one. Then you have purpose. Purpose means intentional living. If I say that I'm making the right choices, I'm making the right decisions, it must show in the quality of life I live. It must show in the way I organize my time, how I use my energy, the relationships I keep, how I manage my relationship at home, at work, and in the various circles I find myself. And ultimately, how I am using the energy I have. Am I wasting it or am I getting value out of it? Then you bring the concept to leadership, which is where I start to influence my environment. I influence the people I work with. I influence the people I serve with. And that is really mastery in a practical sense and how it applies to mind, purpose, and leadership.
Okay, so from there, Poimen's main themes is mind, purpose, and leadership.
Yeah.
So I want to ask Joshua, what do you think practically mastering your mind really mean?
Well, I believe to master our mind is in various factions. But before that, I want to provide some perspective into why our mind is important. Like Michael said, our mind is really the engine of life. It's direct how we live, how we move, the kind of decisions we make, our choices and all, right? And then our mind is more or less like a filter, right? It filters the kind of things we see. And so if you, for example, like say you are wearing a red shade, everything you see around you will appear red.
Reddish. Yeah.
If you are wearing blue shades, everything like you see around you is appears blue. And then there's this funny thing that happened to me in my childhood, right? So growing up, I never knew I had to wear glasses. I never knew I needed glasses, right? Because how I saw is how I thought everyone around me saw. I mean, because I was quite smallish, I always sit in front of the class. So, and our classrooms weren't that big, so I could easily see the board, right? So from primary to SHS, I've never had a problem with my eyesight. But I get to the university and on my first lecture is in a big room. And I realized that I can't see anything, like, because the rooms are much bigger and there's a gap between where we sit and where the board is. And people at the back could see and we're asking questions. I'm like, hey, what's happening? So I just missed the rest of the week and decided to go back home to visit the hospital. And the doctors were shocked, saying, is that how you've been seeing your whole life? Because they were saying I was literally blind. So I had lived my whole life literally blind, not realizing that the filter through which I was seeing things was quite limited. And so the first time I had glasses on, I almost cried because I was like, wow, I've really missed out on this much clarity and all. And I believe that really is what Poimen seeks to do, right? We seek to like help people wear glasses, right? Just so they start seeing things a bit more deliberately. And once like you can see, once you can position your mind to say things a bit more deliberately, the choices you make will be much more intentional. Your actions will change. Like you become very deliberate about the kind of things you do. Because since when I began wearing glasses, now I had no worries about seeing things on the board. I could see things clearly, and then I could move like with direction and all. So that's how like Poimen really views the mind and how we seek to help people around that.
Awesome. So I think I will also talk on the perspective of purpose. So for me personally, I used to think purpose was this distant milestone that we're all journeying towards. Like it's something in a box somewhere. So it means that all the things that I'm doing now in my life doesn't really matter because in my mind, I'm expecting something big somewhere, which is actually my purpose. So I used to live like that, right? But until like encountering Poimen, and I think taking the Poimen, the living on purpose course, I actually came to understand that purpose is a journey, right? And it is an everyday utilization of your gifts. So it means that you would have to make sure that you are finding opportunities around and utilizing those opportunities and actually doing your best and living a diligent life every day. And I think one of the Why to Thrive podcast episodes, Michael spoke about how like purpose is a compass. So it's like it gives direction, like an overview of what your life's supposed to be. And with the course, you'll be able to like draw patterns from your life and actually see where you're moving towards. So I would also want to get your views on what you think purpose is. Michael, you can take purpose and then we'll do leadership.
Yeah, I think that the concept of purpose for me is tied to the compass, like you said. And once I understood that it's about having a sense of direction every stage of life I'm in, it frees you. And once you also know that purpose is something that grows with you, I always say your purpose is constant in essence, but in expression is very different. So the essence of your purpose can always be centered around certain themes, certain ideas, certain ideals. But the way you express it in different seasons of your life will vary greatly depending on where you are and the stage you are in life. And so when you understand these things, you stop trying to chase that elusive end that Sandrine was talking about, and you realize that the purpose is actually what brought you on earth in the first place. How can something that brought me on earth be something that I'm chasing? It means the thing is there. I have to understand it. I have to discover it, and I have to commit to walking a path that leads me closer and closer to the version of myself that I need to become to realize the purpose for which I was born. So that's really purpose. And that's why we created the Living on Purpose, to help people. And we've met people who are at milestones, they are at turning points in their lives. I had the opportunity to lead someone who was an actor turning 50 and trying to figure out his life. And we sat down and we were able to track his journey. And he realized, look, my purpose has been there right from the beginning. So I don't have to be 50 to find it. I can just go back to being myself and living life from my authentic self. And that really has been one experience in many other experiences that we've shared. So that will be purpose in a nutshell.
Even in purpose, I want to add our FLAIR assessments. As our FLAIR assessment is a clear indication of how, like, the core essence of what you want to do will be there, but the expressions change.
Exactly.
As for example, the FLAIR assessment, it first began as physical calculations, right? We talk to people, ask them a few questions, and then manually calculate to understand where they fit. And then we move to Excel. So they will fill a Google form. We use Excel to kind of do those calculations and all. And then we move to a semi-automated platform where now people can fill it online. And then there's still some manual work involved. And then now it's all automated. So people just go on the platform, fill it, and then they have their results. The point really is that the core purpose was to help people find out how they are wired to work, right? But then the expressions of it change in various forms.
Exactly.
So someday it might be in a different form, maybe in VR, in videos, we never know. But then the core essence of the FLAIR assessments has been to help people find out how they work best and their work expression.
Exactly.
And so we keep on finding ways to fulfill that general expression.
I think on purpose in our generation specifically, where people love to be loud about the things they are doing, it's very easy to find people say on social media, oh, this is my purpose, this is what I'm doing and all of that. With that growing trend, how do we actually stay rooted in our purpose, in our individual purpose, so that we don't fall off living somebody's purpose because it looks nice on the internet? So I think I'll show this question to Michael.
My God.
Purpose is authentic.
Purpose is authentic.
It's not faking to do something. If it's your essence, you show your essence wherever you go. So if you don't think the person is being authentic, or you yourself know that you're not being authentic, you're not working on purpose, or you're not living on purpose. If you commit to live on purpose, your priority becomes authenticity. And once your priority becomes authenticity, you can't pretend. You become more conscious of who you are and who you are not. That's one thing people don't pay attention to. Who you are not is so important in the purpose conversation. And so it's not about posting things on social media to convince the world that you are living on purpose. It's what do people see? And based on what people see about you and the ideas or the words that come to mind, if you were to tell them what your purpose is, will they see a correlation? If they don't, then there's a mismatch. That would be my answer.
I think I'll finalize our ideas on purpose by sharing something that Jeremy shared in season 1. I think he mentioned something around the fact that if something is not authentic, you can't sustain it for long. Yeah. So you see some people come to the platform and they would be doing something for 1, 2, 3, 4 years, and that will be it. They just can't sustain it. So just as Michael is saying, purpose is really authentic and you must leave it out as who you are as a person. So we'll move from purpose to leadership. And again, Michael, you will take this for us. What is leadership when it comes to Poimen?
Yeah, leadership points to 3 main things: character, competence, creativity. We are not interested in leaders who just occupy positions. We are interested in leaders who have character, people who are moral, like they do the right thing when they must do the right thing, not they do the right thing when the camera is on them. You just want leaders who are original, leaders who are committed to living by their convictions. It doesn't necessarily make them popular, but at least people can respect them for the things that they stand for. Then we have competence. Competence is having the necessary skill to manage relationships and to do the work that you're supposed to do as a leader. I always say this: if people count on you, for example, taking the trash out every day, if you didn't take the trash out on a particular day, people are going to complain that the room is smelling or there are ants in the room. That is leadership. So we need to stop thinking about leadership as a lofty position, or the politician or the business person or the pastor or the corporate leader who has the corner office, as we like to say. People have written books about all those things. That's not leadership. Leadership is recognizing the responsibility you have, big or small, and doing everything within your strength to live up to those responsibilities. That is competence. Then you have creativity. Creativity is your ability to solve problems and to come up with solutions to the challenges around you, because leadership is hard work. Joshua was just talking about the FLAIR assessment. We saw a need. We wanted to be creative in solving that need because we realized people were complaining about their frustrations with work. I was complaining about my frustrations. Well, one moment I'm excited, the next moment I'm burnt out. One moment I feel this is it, the next moment I'm confused. It was a quest to find a solution that started on paper. And eventually it became a fully automated website. That is creativity. Creativity doesn't mean you solve the problem in an instant, but you have the discipline to engage and engage and engage and engage till you find a lasting solution. So that is leadership for us.
Thank you so much. Joshua, anything to share on leadership?
I think Michael has shared everything. Michael has shared everything. But then I also add that for me, I see leadership as, in terms of Poimen and the work we do, as core of leading self, right? Oftentimes when we think of leadership, we think of leading others, being in charge of big things, being in charge of doing amazing stuff that are social media worthy or that are book worthy. But then you'd realize that leading yourself can be the most difficult thing there is. Because you could easily tell someone to do this, do that, or you could easily command people and blame them if things go wrong.
Yeah.
But then leadership really is deciding to wake up at 6 a.m. on days when you are so exhausted, you don't feel like it, but you need to get things done, right? It's pushing yourself to do the right things, the things that need to be done. Like Michael was saying, character, competence, creativity. Is being able to apply those things by yourself, right? Even when no one is watching, even when no one would see, right? There's a story of a person who was painting who was doing a sculpture in a cathedral, in a very big cathedral. And then he realized what I was doing in that, there was a small patch that wasn't fitting well at the very, very top. No one will ever see it. But by the time someone goes up there, it's probably renovation. But he's saying, and someone asked him, why are you bothering yourself with so much detail at the top there? And he said, no one will see yes, but then I will know it. Right. So can we know that we've done the right thing when no one is watching? That's why I believe leadership is, and how Poimen seeks to help people and carry them on leading themselves.
It looks like Poimen's teams are very, very interconnected from mind, purpose, and leadership. We've gotten to another crucial aspect of today's session, and as we all know, Poimen has different expressions. Let me say it that way, and one of them is the Poimen Mastery Program. And the Poimen Mastery Program is a coaching program where we help people, creatives, entrepreneurs, students, and any industry that you help yourself just master your mind, live on purpose, and lead with diligence. And today, we are honored to have with us a participant from cohort 2 of the Poimen Mastery Program. So we'd call Miss Hafsha to join us on stage. I think Joshua, you can exit. Hi, Hafsha.
Hi, Sandrine.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well by God's grace. How
Oh,
about you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. How are you feeling today?
I'm actually honored to be here and I feel great.
Okay, we'll have you introduce yourself shortly, then we'll take it from there.
Hi, everyone. My name is Adulum Hafsha Ismail. I am committed to my self growth and development, and I support initiatives that actually help our society to progress.
Awesome. Awesome. So, Hafsha, you are on core 2 of the Poimen Mastery Program. I want to know how you joined, your expectations joining, and how the program is going so far.
Okay, so I saw the advertisement of the program and then I noted it was about mastery, leadership, and then systems. And as an individual committed to my personal growth and development, I saw that as an opportunity to jump on and then learn. My commitment to, signing up for the program was also reinforced by an experience I had of Michael. So I was privileged to be a part of a session organized by Petra Abba Asamoah, and he was a facilitator. Okay. So he delved deeper into, our responses at work, our behaviors at work, and I had the opportunity to take the FLAIR assessment test. And so I just knew that if I sign up for this program, I was going to learn a lot more. So yeah, that was that.
Okay. So I think on Michael, how has it been, Michael being the coach along the journey?
It has been very great. My expectations have been met. At a point in time, I stopped, joining webinars and all, and, things like that because I kept on hearing the same things over and over again. Repetition is good because you might hear things for the first time and not apply them. And then you keep on hearing them. And then one day it just triggers you to do something. But when we keep on hearing the same things without a different, perspective or dimension, sometimes you feel like you are wasting your time. So I got on Poimen expecting to hear things I had never heard before. And then if I was going to hear the same things I had heard before, it should be from a different perspective or dimension. And he has delivered. And honestly, he got us facilitators who got me sometimes, hey, really, hey. I had to ask myself certain questions. But I thought, it's been like this. This is what I have known my whole life, giving me different perspectives. And he himself is very open, ask us to, come to him in his DM, ask him questions. And then, he throws more light on how to navigate issues and all that. So yes, he's been a fantastic coach in this program.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I think so far we've had 4 sessions. Yeah. 2 on mindset, Jennifer and Jeremy, and 2 on purpose, Adobia and Anthony. How has those sessions really transformed your life as a person? You can also share your favorite session.
Massively. And honestly, I can't choose a favorite session because, the 4th session, it was just like the speaker was talking to me directly, like, just do it. Like, you have the idea, so do it. And then the 2nd session, I asked the problem and then I was told, no, this is a half-shot problem. And I was like, hey. But I thought we are all in this together. Why is it a half-shot problem?
I remember it was Jeremy's session.
Yes. And then the 1st session, Jennifer just told us that the function of our brain is to keep us safe. I was like, hey, I have never heard this anywhere. What do you mean by the function of my brain is to keep me safe? Mimi, I know that my brain is for thinking, making decisions, but what do you mean by my brain's function is to keep me safe? And then, going over the notes I took from the session, I just realized that the results we have, it's based on how our brain perceives certain things. And whatever you see yourself doing, it's your brain just deciding to just keep you safe. That was my perspective. And I loved the when she talked about the situation, meaning, state, behavior, results, cycle. Meaning when you are in a situation, the meaning you attach to the situation determines whatever is going to happen.
Exactly.
So if you find yourself in a negative situation, the meaning you attach to it is going to change the whole trajectory. And then it would determine the state you find yourself. And then how you behave to trigger a certain result. So
Awesome.
yes. And then the third session delved deeper into purpose. She didn't say extraordinary things. She just said things from a different dimension that had me thinking, why didn't I ever think of purpose this way? Because I had seen purpose as something huge, something somewhere I had to, work towards. But she just made me realize that there is purpose to be achieved every day. When she gave an example of she being in school and her purpose in school was to succeed academically. And I just told myself, okay, so if I have a job, then that means that my purpose at my workplace is to ensure that I deliver results.
Excellently.
But people sell purpose to make it look like it's something distant that you need to, work towards, forgetting that the things that we do today helps us in achieving or arriving at that big picture we are talking about, and living every day is achieving purpose in itself. And she also talked about, planning, being self-aware and then planning. And I would say, yes, you want to achieve something in your life, but if you are not self-aware, you wouldn't even know what to even work towards. And we all make plans, but the meaning we attach to the plans makes a difference.
Yeah.
You wake up every day and say, oh, I'm going to work. I will make sure that I get to the bus stop by 6 a.m. so that before 8, I'm at work. But if you see it from this perspective, I am enhancing my skills to ensure that I have the competence, I build my competence to ensure that when there is a promotion, I am ready for that promotion. Nobody can pass me over. You attach a different meaning to it. It's not like you just wake up every day and you're just going to work. So that session just changed my whole trajectory about purpose. I believe human beings, we were not born to be idle. We were born to pursue meaning out of life every day. And it's all about attaching meanings to whatever we do in our lives. So yes, I have loved all the sessions. I don't have a favorite one because in each one of them, there is something valuable in all that really applies to me.
Honestly, I would say this alone is like a mastery session. What you shared over the period is like a mastery session. We are very grateful that you've learned so much along the journey over the past 2 months. Now we are just left with 1 month to go. I just want to ask you how you're going to apply all the things that you've learned, because insight is good, but you need to practicalize the things that we hear, the things that we learn on our journey. So I want to know, what's next from here? What's next after the Poimen Mastery Program?
So for me, I have already started implementation because the program pushes you to implement. If you don't implement, you're not going to get results. And our coach here, he's going to ask you questions and you will feel like, why don't I just do it? To give him, even if you say, why don't I just do it, to just give him the answer, at the end of the day, you just fall in love with the process because you'll be pushed to learn more about yourself. Jennifer gave us an assignment, and the assignment was for us to write on who we think we were, and then who we choose to become. And so sitting down and even working on that assignment really pushed me to think deeper, reflect. And I realized there were things about myself I had really taken lightly that I shouldn't have taken that way. And I wrote down whom I had chosen to become. And so the program just pushes you to just start implementing all those things you had already put down. And so for me, the process has already started. We talked about the mind, where we were taught how to control our thoughts. When you're having these random thoughts, Jennifer took us through that exercise. to help make sure that you are grounded and then you have control over your thoughts. So when I start having these random thoughts, I just start talking to my brain, hey, my friend, calm down, calm down, calm down. And it has really helped me because sometimes you just sit down and then think about things randomly and they may be negative things, but you really do not know how deep they really penetrate, how deep they go. We were told to choose areas we wanted to work on. I chose neuroplasticity and then forgiveness, and then diving deeper I just realized there was so much I had held within that I had to let go. And that was me implementing what I had been taught, not waiting for the program to end. So that's what Poimen does to you, the Poimen Mastery Program. It teaches you, pushes you to implement whatever you are learning. And then even before the program comes to an end, you become transformed. And as we have been taught to be diligent leaders, of course, you would want to continue to apply that in your life, at work, in your relationships, and in future initiatives.
Awesome. So what are your final words to your friends, your community, anyone out there about the Poimen Mastery Program? What do you want to say to anyone there?
If you are an individual who is committed to your self-growth and development, I would recommend the Poimen Mastery Program to you. I have been an individual who has joined so many sessions, webinars. They were all insightful, but the Poimen Mastery Program gives a different dimension and different perspective to developing oneself because of the aspects that they have. So if you're interested in developing yourself, do not miss the Poimen Mastery Program. Next.
Awesome. Michael, do you have anything you want to say?
I just feel like clapping. Yeah, thank you so much for the experiences you shared, Hafsha. I don't think I have anything to say. I'm just honored to make promises, be able to keep those promises to people, and then the people share how it's blessing them. That, for me, is gold.
Awesome. So thank you so much, Hafsha, for honoring this invite. We are happy that you came.
Thank you so much. The privilege is mine.
So we have Joshua back on stage. Hi, Joshua.
Hi guys, I'm back.
All right. So last but not least, we are going to talk about one very important thing, which is our upcoming program, the Poimen Mastery Connect. So the Poimen Mastery Connect is basically a close-out program for the Poimen Mastery Program, but it also invites the general public because we talk about a lot of insightful things. And I think at this point, I'll let Michael speak to the team of our upcoming Connect.
Okay. Many years ago, I was in secondary school. I'm not going to mention the name of the school, but I'll say Esekwan Videri. Those who know. And a friend of mine has snuck a book into the class, and the title of the book was From Pieces to Weight. It's a book by rapper 50 Cent. And in the book, he was talking about how he transitioned from a street hustler to become a business person and a rap mogul. I'm not here to endorse 50 Cent, but the title has stuck with me since. From pieces to weight. Pieces as in things that are small, and then weight as in something that is heavy. And mastery, as far as Poimen is concerned, is helping people move from being pieces where their lives are fragmented, their life has no significance, their life sometimes they feel has no meaning, to a place where their life has significance, their life has depth, and they are growing. Okay. If you bring that into what we are seeking to do with the Poimen Mastery Connect, it's an in-person event where this time around we are focusing on diligent leadership. And diligent leadership is really helping people dig in to themselves and embrace the fact that they have something in them that if only they are committed to nurture, if only they are committed to put in the work, then they can transition from pieces to weight. They can make a difference wherever they are. And I'm not interested in motivating people. My goal is never to motivate you. My goal is just to help you see the seed you have and work the seed. and work it and apply yourself till you see the results. And so when we talk about diligent leadership, we are saying, like I said earlier, if all the responsibility you have in this world is to take out the trash, you can do that so well that people can start trusting you with more. Because the moment people start trusting you with more, then you're going to see growth in your life and in your journey. So on the Poimen Mastery Connect, this time around, I'm not handling it alone. I'm bringing in someone very special, someone whose life embodies diligence. I've known this gentleman for the past 7 years. And what he has done within that time, I can only describe it as meteoric, very fast, but it's all calculated, it's all intentional, and it's all discipline, it's all diligence, it's all consistency, and it's all showing up. So together with Jeremy, we're going to have the Poimen Mastery Connect, and we're going to have conversations that allow you to be by yourself, that allow you to be in a small group, that allow you to be in a big group, because however the conversation goes, you'll find yourself somewhere. You find yourself alone, or you find yourself when you're in the midst of others, or you find yourself when you're in the midst of the congregation or the group, because each of them reference our lives. We live that way. That's why we designed the program that way. You are alone. You wake up alone. It's just you. But the moment you step out of your room, it's your family, it's the people you live with. That's a small group. Then you step out, you're on your commutes to work, you are dealing with the world. And we are using that model to instill diligent leadership in you. What we want to do with the Poimen Mastery Connect is to get you to buy into the idea that you can be diligent. That's it. Because if you buy into it, you can live it. Everything that you are living in your life is because you've bought into it. You've bought into the idea that you are not consistent. That's why you are inconsistent. If you buy into the idea that you are consistent, then you'll be consistent. So the Poimen Mastery Connect, under the theme Diligent Leadership, is going to get you to buy into the idea that you can be diligent. And if you can be diligent, then you can make a difference. And so that's what we are seeking to do with the Poimen Mastery Connect this time around.
Awesome. Joshua, anything to share?
I think I have to speak before Michael speaks, because once he speaks, there's nothing to to add again. For me, I think diligence is quite important, especially in today's world. Like you mentioned earlier, these days we find that because of social media and the quest to appear as a master, and or people just do shadow work, and then they expect that shadow work would give them visibility as a currency, as is. And I believe the biggest currency you can have is being one who can be said, I know this guy can do it, and he can do very well for you. And then even if it's just polishing shoes, I believe if it's shoes we are polishing, or it's the road we are sweeping, we should sweep in a way that once we didn't sweep today, it is very obvious that this place wasn't swept by this person, right? And then that's what I believe diligence is, that if we want visibility, the visibility really should be in our work, right? In the output we produce, and not just in appearing as competent. You can appear competent, but if you can't really do the work, I think if I'm to choose between two extremes, being extremely visible or extremely competent, I'd rather go for being extremely competent, because in that way, there is the assurance that whatever I do it with excellence and with diligence, even if it's the most basic stuff as designing a simple file or something, like to be sure you do it as diligent as you can. And then that really is what the Mastery Connect is to really hammer in the fact that, look, yes, you need to be visible in today's world. It's important as a currency. But much more beyond visibility, you need to be diligent. You need to know how to get the work done, no matter what it is. And that even if you are called to be a shoe cleaner, you clean shoes in a way that glorifies God in all you do.
Awesome. So I think Michael and Joshua have said so much about the Poimen Mastery Connect, and so we want to extend an invite to you wherever you are, within or outside of Accra, to join us on the 1st of May at the Hive ICGC Christ Temple East Seshi. And you are going to have an amazing session on that day. So we've talked a lot today. We've talked about season 2 of the Thrive Table. We talked about the themes of Poimen. We talked about the Poimen Mastery Program. And we finally talked about the upcoming program, which is the Poimen Mastery Connect. So I want you people to share something small with our listeners, with our community. Your final words to our community. I will
Yeah,
start
go
with
first.
Joshua.
Yeah, so my final words really is sign up for the Mastery Connect. It's been designed to be life transforming and a life changing. And you can sign up at connect.poimenleadership.org. It'll be on the screen, connect.poimenleadership.org, and we are hoping to see you on 1st May at the Hive. Thank you.
So, Michael.
I think I would just encourage people to buy into the idea that they can be diligent. That's is my message to you. So if you come for the program, you learn more. But even if you can't come for the program, start telling yourself, I can buy into the concept that I can be diligent. Just tell yourself that till it becomes believable, and you'll notice how when you're about to do something, you just want to apply yourself. I always say that what we are doing today, I tried to do it for 12 years and never succeeded at it. I was always in the thinking stage. I was always thinking, I can't do this. I can't start this. It's never a good time. But almost 2 years ago, I made a bold decision to start. And I started with nothing. All I would do is record my message, and then I'll send it to Joshua here. And then Joshua will also go and figure out what he has to do. And then we'll post it. And gradually, here we are. But it started with a buy-in that I can do this. I don't have all the answers. I don't have all the equipment, but I can do this and I can start it. So that's my final message to you. But see you at the Poimen Mastery Connect.
So as I said earlier, this session is just a teaser of what the season 2 of the Thrive Table is all about. So if you want to be in the loop, if you want to keep listening to us, you can follow us on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts at Wired to Thrive. You can also follow us on all social media platforms at Michael Adote, and specifically on Instagram at poimen.leadership. So we are grateful that you've been on this journey with us, and we hope that you stick and stay. I am Sandrine Tano, and I was the moderator for today. Bye.